Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Fundi Anna Mary and I'm going to be taking you through static electricity. Everything around us is made up of very small tiny particles called atoms. That is, the air, the plants, and you yourself, you are made up of very small tiny particles called atoms. For example, this piece of paper is also made up of very small tiny particles. If you cut this paper into very small parts, for example, let's focus on this, then cut it, you are going to reach at a point where you cannot cut it the more, and now it has some small tiny particles. Those tiny particles are what we call atoms. These atoms have energy within them, and as they continue to interact with each other, they exchange this energy within themselves. Now, those that give away their energy are said to be positively charged, and those that gain that energy, those that receive that energy, are said to be negatively charged. The plus in this case will represent the positively charged particles, and the minus or the negative sign will represent the negatively charged particles. Normally, the number of positively charged particles in an object is equal to the number of negatively charged particles in an object. However, in some cases, when you rub two objects together, the negatively charged particles from one object move to the other object. When the number of negatively charged particles is more than the number of positively charged particles in an object, they form a certain type of electricity called static electricity. It is called static electricity because the negative charges are not moving to any other object, they are within that object. And we are going to see that in the following experiments. In this experiment, we are going to use salt. We are going to use salt. And we are going to use chili pepper. And we shall mix the two. We are going to mix our chili powder and the salt. We're going to mix the two. After mixing our salt and our chili powder, I am going to put this spoon when I've not rubbed it anywhere, and you'll see what happens. You see, nothing happens, nothing is attracted to the spoon. Now I'm going to rub this spoon somewhere, for example, on my skin. I can rub it on my skin. So now let's take a look at what happens. And now you see, so the spoon has attracted chili pepper. That is what we call static electricity. And on this second experiment, I am going to use a PVC pipe, and I am going to use an aluminium can. Any can which is aluminium, made of aluminium. So that's what we are going to use in this second experiment. So initially, when this PVC pipe is not rubbed to any cloth, when we bring it near the aluminium can, nothing happens, you see? Nothing happens. If you bring it near, nothing happens. And now we are going to rub using a sweater, or we use anything which is woolen. Woolen sweater, woolen towel, anything which is woolen. We rub it for around 30 seconds. Then after rubbing our PVC pipe, this PVC pipe has gained a lot of electrons, negative charges. So these negative charges, let's see when we bring it near this aluminium can, what will happen. So let's put and see. See, it attracts towards this side because this one has the charges. So let's put this side and see. You see, this is because of static electricity. Static electricity. And then in our next experiment, we're going to be having a PVC pipe. We're going to be having any cup with a hole, anything with a hole, anything with a hole. But for me, I've used a disposable cup with a hole there inside. Then we are going to use water. You use any water. And a bowl. And now, before this PVC pipe is rubbed anywhere, we are going to see what happens when you bring it near this water. You see, nothing happens. But then, when you rub this PVC pipe on a cloth, we're going to see what happens. We are going to rub our PVC pipe on our sweater until you feel like it has gained enough friction, until you feel like there is enough friction here. So now we are going to see how the PVC pipe is going to work on this. You see, the water is bending. You see, this is due to static electricity. And in the next experiment, we are going to use small pieces of paper. So I'm going to cut these papers into very small pieces. And we are going to use a straw. So before the experiment, before I rub this on anywhere, we are going to put near our papers and we'll see what happens. Nothing happens. Let's put it inside and see. Nothing is attracting the other. But now we are going to use this straw and rub it on ourselves. For example, you can rub it in your hair. You can rub it in your hair. And now let's see what happens when we bring it near. It will attract some pieces of paper. You see? Let's see when we rub what happens to the PVC pipe and the pieces of paper. You see? This is due to static electricity. Now, in this experiment, we are going to see using the PVC pipe and the styrofoam. The styrofoam here, we are going to see, before we rub the PVC pipe anywhere, what happens. Like nothing happens. So now let's rub the PVC pipe. Let's see what happens when we use this. They are being attracted. They're being attracted. This is due to static electricity. They are being attracted. And this one is what we call static electricity. Like as we've seen in the experiments, when we rub two objects against one another, we form a certain type of electricity called static electricity, and it is used in some cases to separate different objects. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've liked it, and I hope to see you in the next video.